Hello everyone! How are you doing over there? Are you comfortable? Are you sitting up straight? Did you drink enough water today? Well, today we're going to be talking about how to live in, you guessed it, Vancouver on a budget. Now, believe me, it is possible despite what other people may say. I myself am a very frugal person and I have managed to save a lot of money while living in Vancouver using the following tips. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button down below. So the first thing that I want to talk about is take public transportation, okay? This one is the number one tip that I could give you if you decide to live here. Gas prices have been astronomically high for as long as I can remember, now more than ever. And on top of that, buying a car, paying for insurance, which is also insanely high, and last but not least, parking spots. Parking can cost a lot, especially in downtown. So that's a lot of expenses that do add up. So I highly recommend, if you can, to try to avoid getting a car and use public transit or use a bike. Those are very popular here, but also kind of expensive. People who live in Vancouver, especially those that were born and raised here, tend to complain about our transit system being unreliable, not being the best. And honestly, I do think that we have a pretty decent transit system, at least within the city and kind of the outer suburbs, compared to a lot of other cities in North America where there isn't really a public transportation system at all. So I think that we're pretty fortunate to have what we have. We have the Canada line and the Expo line. We have SkyTrains. You can take a train directly from the airport to various parts of the city. I've been using public transportation my entire life pretty much. I have never owned a car. I am low-key afraid of driving. I heard somewhere on TikTok that gorgeous girls do not drive. So I think it's pretty good and I've probably saved a pretty penny by doing that. So yeah, definitely recommend. So the next thing that I suggest is to go out to eat during happy hour. Now I know the cheapest option is probably to just eat at home and eat home-cooked meals, but we all have to enjoy our lives sometimes, you know? Happy hour varies from restaurant to restaurant, but typically between the hours of 3 to 5 or 6 p.m. or sometimes late night happy hours are found in the majority of restaurants here. Basically, if you check the menu of any popular restaurant or bar here, you'll probably find that they have a happy hour menu. A popular one here, if you're looking for super cheap drinks, is Earl's. I remember getting drinks for $3.50. Restaurants here, especially downtown, can be very expensive. The other day I went to a Greek restaurant and I spent $30 just on a Greek salad and a little bit of pita bread and hummus, and that hurt a little bit. But also, if you're going out to eat, grabbing coffee, getting groceries, or really shopping for anything, I highly recommend getting a cashback card. And that actually leads me to the sponsor of this video, Neo Financial. The Neo card is an everyday credit card offered to all Canadians, Quebec included, and it has no annual or monthly fees. An average of 4 to 6% cashback and a guaranteed 1% cashback across all spend, which means you get instant cashback on everything you do, including most major gas and grocery stores, restaurants, gyms, coffee shops, and more across Canada. You can also earn enormous welcome bonuses like 15% cashback on your first purchase at most partners. It's also 100% digital, so applications get accepted in under 3 minutes via the mobile app or web portal, and you can load it into Google Pay or Apple Pay to start using it right away, and then the physical card will arrive shortly after. I like it because it's a simple, super straightforward process. And if you're interested in learning more about this credit card, I've linked it down below. Okay, so the next tip I have is to rent a place with roommates if you can, or better yet, depending on what you're doing here, you can also consider moving to the suburbs, a little outside of Vancouver, because as I said, the transit system is pretty great here. So, if you're living in Burnaby, which honestly is pretty expensive as well, or even Surrey, you can still get to where you want to go. But yeah, one of the most expensive things about Vancouver, aside from having a car, is having an apartment, a house, a place to stay, okay? Real estate is insane here, and rent prices are expensive. Like, I'm currently splitting my rent with my boyfriend. We share this 1-bedroom apartment, and I don't think I could afford this place on my own. I actually posted an entire in-depth guide to finding relatively affordable rent here in Vancouver. If you want to check that out, I go into more detail. But yeah, it's not cheap. The next thing is take advantage of all of the free or discounted activities and things that go on here. The main one being nature. It's free and we have a lot of it. There's a lot of awesome hikes that you can do. There's a free museum called the Burnaby Heritage Village Museum. I love it. I highly recommend. And also Tuesdays are a good day to keep in mind. On Tuesdays, you can get discounted movie tickets at Cineplex theaters. You can get discounted entry to the art gallery. It's by donation on Tuesdays. So there's a lot of things that are usually like discounted on Tuesdays. I actually have a whole separate video coming out in the coming weeks where I list off all of the different free activities that you can do here. So stay tuned for that and be sure to subscribe. The next thing is to shop secondhand and take advantage of free stuff groups. We have a variety of thrift stores here in Vancouver, some more expensive than others, but shopping secondhand usually means that you can find a better bargain than if you were to buy full price, and it's also more sustainable. So it's a win-win. And if you want to be even more frugal, there are some free stuff Vancouver Facebook groups out there where people just give away their stuff for free. I guess it's similar to, the Craigslist free stuff section. You can probably find what you're looking for without paying a ton of money. Also, if you live in an apartment building, I don't know if this is common for all apartments, but in my apartment, in the lobby, there tends to be a bunch of random little knickknacks, furniture items, all sorts of stuff that people in my building, get rid of and are giving away rather than just like throwing it in the dumpster. So that's also another fun place to rummage for free stuff. There's usually a lot of books as well. And speaking of books, there's a lot of community like free libraries out there. Obviously, there is the Vancouver Public Library, which is gorgeous. It looks like a coliseum, and I highly recommend just getting books from the library rather than buying new books. But there's also these like little free libraries that are kind of built by people in the community. It's just like a little booth thing on the street. You can pick up a book, but if you do that, be sure to leave it how you found it. Maybe put one of your own books in as an exchange. It's like a little mini book club. And I think that's a super fun concept. And then lastly, we can't be eating at happy hour every single day. I do suggest shopping at the more affordable grocery stores if you are trying to save money. The grocery stores here do have different price points. Like I would say that Whole Foods and even Safeway are kind of more of the expensive ones. But I'd say that some of the cheaper options are No Frills, and then also the Real Canadian Superstore. Those grocery stores I do find to be on the cheaper end because we don't want to be spending $5 on a stalk of celery. So yeah, with all of these things combined, I do think that, getting into the habit of saving money while also being able to enjoy yourself here and there, it's a good balance, and it's something that I have, established while living here. And I hope you watching at home or wherever you are learn something from this video and take some of these tips with you. And special thanks again to Neo Financial for sponsoring this video. Again, if you're interested in their cashback card, the link is down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.